Welcome back to another episode. Before we get started, just want to let you know that I updated the title to better match what we're doing here. So the new title is called "This C# video is not for you." I think that's a better fit, and it also let the people know what kind of video that they're looking at. Even though this video is not for you, this is for me, and it's the best way that I can teach myself how to code. This episode, we're going to be talking about functions and what functions do for a program and what it do for you. So with no further ado, let's get started. Before we get started talking about functions, just a small review of what we already established in our program. So we already established that we want the application to show the user take in their name, where they're from, and what is their birth month, display that information back to them, and in some cases display their horoscope. But I came across an error just reviewing my code, and as a matter of fact, let's run the code. So the program is asking, what is your name? What if I don't type anything? The program continues to run without giving any error or indication that you need to type something. And the way we type the code is running perfectly fine. That's the way we intended it to run. But I don't want that. What I want is if a user doesn't type anything, I need to display an error code or some kind of message to tell the user to type something. So using last episode's code, we can use an if statement, because if a user does not type anything, I want the user to do this. So if name equals nothing, then console dot write line let's see, you didn't type anything, please try again. And then we're going to say name equals console dot read line. So again, the application is asking the user what is their name. The var, the variable name, holds the information that the user is going to put. If the name equals to blank, then the application should show you didn't type anything, please try again, and ask for the user's input again. So let's run the program. So what is your name? We don't need to know this information. You didn't type anything, please try again. I guess I do need to type. So I'll type dad. Where are you from? I'm not typing anything. It looks like we fixed a small part of the problem. So let's copy this code, because this code is not going to change very much. So instead of name here, we're going to type city and city, and we're going to paste it one more time down here for month, and you guessed it, month. So now if I type the code, I should get an error for all three requests. Let me rebuild my code, and I have an error. Okay. So what is your name? Oh, you didn't type anything. My name is Dad. Where are you from? The program doesn't need to know where I'm from. Or maybe it do. I am from here. What is your birth month? That is PII. I guess I do need to put information in there. and our program continues to run. So episode 3 is about functions. What is a function? A function in C# performs a specific task for your program. A good way to think of function is it automates a task that you do not want to repeatedly type in this case. So in our code, I bet you can look and see that we have retyped the same code over and over again. And yes, you are absolutely right. What I found out is during this whole time, we were already typing in a function. The static void main string arguments, this here is a function. So this here is our main entry point to our program. Without this program would not run at all. So what makes up a function? You have your static, you have your return type, your method name, your arguments, and here's your statements. So your access specifier, this could be either one of two things. Mainly, it could be public or it can be private. So it'll look something like this. So if it's private, that means no outside functions will have access to the information that's in this function. Then I can change this to public, and you probably can guess it that this information within this function is available to the rest of the program. And then you got void. So what void means in this situation is it does not return any information. I can actually change this to an integer, a string, a double, any kind of data that I want this function to return. But in this case, it's going to be void. So main, I'll show you a different type. I can't change this because it'll error out, but the name of this function is main. In this case, this function takes in strings and an array and arguments. I'm not going to get into this one in particular. It's outside my scope of what I've learned, but I did read up on it, but I don't feel confident enough to talk about it. So like I said, we have written code repeatedly, and we want to work smarter and not harder. So what we're going to do is we're going to try to eliminate some of this code, and I'm going to create my own function. So down here, we're going to copy here, right? We got static void main. So we know this is going to be a static void, and the name of this function we're going to call try again. And what I want this function to do is to take place of this if statement. So I'm going to copy or cut this. Paste it down there. So what I can do, so the name of this function is try again. In its place, I'm going to type try again. I'm gonna leave the rest of this code the same, but the information that's displayed to the user should be the same. Let's run the code. So what is your name? I'm not telling you my name. Oh, look at that, it works. So again, let's copy this. Control V. Same thing here. Control V. So with this function that I created down here, I wrote this code one time and I can reuse it as many times as I need. All I have to do is call it by using try again. So you can imagine for the future writing of this code, I can create other functions for the name, where you from, because I'm asking these same questions. Actually, you should try to write the code yourself to see what you come up with. That'd be a good exercise. Thank you for tuning in on episode 3, introduction of functions. This has actually been a pretty cool series so far, receiving a lot of positive feedback. Leave your voice, your comments and concerns at the bottom below. I appreciate each and every one of you. I actually appreciate myself for getting in front of the camera and taking the time to teach myself how to code. This is a fun experience and we're going to continue to do this. Thank you for your time. Ciao.